Why is the ENTJ the ENFP's best friend? To answer that question, we really need to look at the functions. And in my experience, I've had a few great, and I still have a few great ENTJ friends in my life. And the reason they are so important to me is that that ENTJs have the ability to really stress test ideas, because their first function is extroverted thinking, whereas the ENFP's third function is extroverted thinking. So it's and the extroverted thinking is such an incredibly important function, I find, for my decision making, because it is really how the ENFP takes decisions is by first taking a lot of information in and kind of experimenting a lot with ideas, even in your own head or in real life, to see what is possible. And then the second step, or the second function, really is to evaluate, based on the introverted feeling, what's in cohesion with one's own values. Out of all the possibilities, what really makes sense and what is authentic with regards to your own values as an ENFP. That's the second function. And then the third function is so important, because the third function really allows you then to build out a strategy or a system to put all of that into practice. And an ENFP that is not really going into their third function, the extroverted thinking, stays in the realm of the possible and the reflection of how it makes them feel or what's authentic to them, and doesn't really go into action or doesn't really apply judgment, because the extroverted thinking is the first judging function really that is extroverted. So it's about applying judgment to the external world and interacting or being decisive in action when it comes to the external world. So what that means is that as the third function is quite important to the ENFP, but is not part of the top two functions, so the functions that define the temperament, it is really important to be able to double check your thinking, your logic, and for that I find the ENTJ is amazing, because ENTJs have as their first function the extroverted thinking, meaning that that's the air they live and breathe, right? And they love playing around with ideas, right? So the connection is the intuition, which is the second function for the ENTJ, even though it's introverted, so they don't tend to experiment so much in life. They are more on the conservative side and stick to what's proven and tested for many years. So but the ENTJ is can imagine a lot of is extremely good at imagining and understanding bigger context and different possibilities, and then really assessing through the logic what the right course of action is, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, what is right, what is wrong. And ENTJs have also the ability to really take into consideration the sense of authenticity, or the whole person of the ENFP personality, to understand or to distinguish that even though it's not the right thing for them to do, it is the right thing for an ENFP to do it in the context of the life of an ENFP. At the same time, they also are applying words of caution, right? So that because they are very kind of logical in their risk assessment, they would say yeah, you can do that, but chances are it's not going to work. So ENTJs are a good risk assessment, or can apply a good risk assessment to your decisions, and also make you double check and really be sure whether you're making the right decision, and even though it feels right, and in the moment you see the possibility, you're very passionate about that, to take a step back and really apply this logical framework, is is this the right thing to do? Considering a longer time period, is it sustainable? First of all, right? Like, or most important of all, no matter how passionate you are about an idea, like, can you sustain that execution over a period of time, and do you have the right execution tools and the execution means at hand? So that is really what the connection with the ENTJ is all about, between ENTJ and ENFP. And ENTJs are extremely loyal friends, and they value the let's say the inventiveness and the daring personality of the ENFP who does things that they wouldn't dare to do, and they benefit a lot from that as well. So it's really a win-win relationship, and deeply loyal and empathetic connection, I would say.